Everyone. All right. I played rounds 3 and 4 this past Tuesday. I won both games. So I and only one other person have a perfect score of 4 points. So assuming I'll be playing him next Tuesday. But yeah, I beat the first guy I beat was rated 1891 and the second guy was like 19 something. I'm gonna go over the first one now, and I'll do the other one another day. Okay, so we played Queen's Gambit declined. Knight f3, c5. So I believe this is the Tarrasch variation. I took the pawn on c5, which is not the main line, but there's nothing wrong with it. Bishop takes, and I just give him the IQP, the isolated queen pawn. Pawn e3 is correct. Knight f6. The computer doesn't like b3. Not really sure why. I think it looks fine. I don't know how else I'm supposed to develop that bishop, but whatever. Knight c6, bishop b2, castles, bishop g4, I castle, rook e8. Queen d2 wasn't turned out. It's not that great. Because right now at least it's helping to defend this square here. Sorry. No. No. I was trying to do this. Okay, there we go. It's defending that square there. So when I go queen c2, it's, not defending that square. Bishop b6. I went knight b2, but knight c3 is a little better. So knight c3, my bishop's protected twice by both the queen and the knight. With my move, it's not protected at all. So any moves involving like pawn d4 are just extra dangerous now. And he goes pawn d4. I'm pushed e4, knight here. And here, my opponent thought for 8 minutes. So he had 17 minutes and then went down all the way to 9 minutes thinking about this move. And he plays queen e7. He should have gone knight takes e4. And it's just he's simply better here. And I think this is why he lost the game. He thought for 8 minutes and played the wrong move. All right, a3, pawn to d3 again. He just simply, yeah, yeah. He thought for another 2 minutes on this, so now he has less than 5 minutes left on his clock after this. Or sorry, 6 minutes 35 seconds is what he has left on his clock after this. And I have like 13 minutes or something. So yeah. He should have just simply gone like knight takes pawn. Or sorry, he should have just simply moved his bishop. He should have just gone here. Um, this would have been a better move. But he went pawn d3, bishop d1, and then plays an even worse move. I just take it. Now that pawn is just dead. I'm up now by the equivalent of a pawn. I have 13 minutes. He has 5 minutes. e5. Bishop takes f3. Bishop e6 is much better. But with very little time on his clock, it's hard to see why. Like I can see him missing this because he doesn't have a lot of time. But this is actually a really interesting line. If he goes bishop e6, I take here, he takes my queen, I take his queen, bishop takes the rook, king takes the rook, rook takes. So now it's bishop and a knight versus for a rook and a pawn. But again, this pawn is pretty much dead. Let's maybe look at this. It's kind of interesting. Rook d7, right here, bishop a5. So this is how the game could have gone. I mean, this is kind of cute. Bishop takes, pawn b4, king here, takes. And this is, I'm winning, but it's a fast game. I have less than 10 minutes at this point, probably. Like, could be even less after playing, how many moves was this? I just put in like 10 moves that the computer suggested. It could have, this could have been a much closer game. But he just took on f3. I took here, moved his queen. Knight takes f3, rooking attacking the queen, which goes to g4. Pawn g6, queen h4, h5, g5, king h7, queen back to h4. Just trying to test him, see what he's going to do next. Probably should have just moved his king back to g8 and left it to me to decide what to do next, but he went rook e2. Here, I messed up. So I went rook ac1. And the problem with this is rook takes f2. He didn't see this. He just played rook to c8. But rook, and again, this is why you don't think for 8 minutes on one move when you're playing a 30-minute game with no delay. So that's the main thing. There's no delay at all. So being this low on time is not, it's not good. If he takes rook f2, this is really interesting. So rook takes, queen d1 with check, knight e1, rook e8. Right, then queen goes to b4 to protect the knight, rook e2, and he just wins that rook. So, yeah. But he went rook c8. And what I should have done instead of rook ac1 was instead of rook ac1, I should have gone to e1, and now this square, this d1 square, it's not check anymore, right? So, like, if he were to take on here, this doesn't work because this there's no queen d1 check. The rook's here instead of here, right? I assume you can see my mouse moving. So anyway, so here rook c8, queen d3, just trying to trade queens, simplify things, and then I just tried to play as accurately as I could. So sorry, you guys, this is being blocked. I went knight g5, king h6, knight to h3. So I made that little check just so I could get my knight to h3 to defend my rook. And then he just hung his queen and resigned before I even had a chance to take it. Yeah. All right. So that's it for that game. The next one I'll post at a later time. That one that I'll show is actually really interesting as well. Spoiler alert, it gets into a rook and pawn ending that's a draw, but it's a game with no delay, and my opponent ran out of time, even though he had a perpetual. I'll show you that next time. All right, bye.